Let's deep dive into the real estate space as well on the Buy Now Sell Now lens today. And we actually caught up with a lot of management because the real estate opportunity in India is large, and that's the word coming in from the biggest developer in the country, DLF, Max Estates as well as Prestige Estates. So let's listen into their outlook on where the industry is headed.
India is today in an extremely strong position locally in terms of its economics, in terms of its policy making, in terms of its obviously political stability. Clearly, I mean, there is optimism in the air, so there's no reason why the price does not strengthen going forward. Obviously, the pace of it could moderate, I'm not saying that. But clearly, I think we are all living in right now in a more optimistic scenario, at least for our, I'd say, the premium and the luxury and the super luxury products.
We are seeing very strong demand, and we are also seeing significant consolidation towards organized, branded, and trustworthy developers. So if you look at it, we will close this year at about 1,800 to 2,000 crores of top line. FY25, we have already shared that we are looking to cross 3,000 crores. So effectively, and we've already publicly stated that we are going to look to grow 2% every year on the top line.
We're quite happy with the type of response we got for our sales, and I think Mumbai has done well, and we are looking to launch a couple of more projects very soon, and I believe even those give us some positive numbers. To stay relevant, we have to make sure that the price doesn't just spiral off, because then you breach the affordability barrier. Construction costs, the land costs and overheads have gone up, and we do need to make a fair margin. And you've seen our numbers, always we land up with the single-digit PAT margins.
All right, and now that the macro picture is clear, let's also understand how the real estate players have fared in the quarter gone by. That is the Q4 FY24. Ashesha is here to give us all of that update. And Ashesha, yes, what's the operational update fine print looking like? What's the overall trend that one can make up from the numbers that have these companies have come out with?
Well, yeah, across the board, all real estate players have reported very strong set of operational data for the quarter gone by. Let's start off with two which reported their operational updates over the weekend. First up is Signature Global. Pre-sales bookings for the quarter gone by rose by nearly 240% on a year-on-year basis. Collections too saw a solid up of about 71% to touch that 1,000 crore mark. And sales realizations for the full year FY24 also saw a solid uptick of 50% on a year-on-year basis. Moving on to Keystone Realtors, their pre-sales for the fourth quarter rose 78% year-on-year, with area sold seeing an uptick of about 37% on a year-on-year basis, and it added 4 more projects in its kitty in the fourth quarter with a gross development value of about 2,950 crores at the end of fourth quarter. Moving on to Macrotech Developers, it reported its numbers a while ago, but very strong data coming in from here as well. Pre-sales beat their own guidance to come in at 4,230 crores, which is an uptick of 40% on a year-on-year basis. Collections also saw a solid uptick. Another positive for Macrotech Developers was the reduction in net debt. In fact, their debt declined to about 3,000 crores versus 7,000 crores at the end of last year. So a reduction in net debt along with new projects which they added in the quarter gone by with a gross development value of about 20,300 crores, which is also way ahead of what the management had guided for earlier. So across the board, Macrotech Developers also reported strong set of operational data. Lastly, let's talk about two other players, Sobha and Puravankara. For Sobha, sales value rose 6% for the fourth quarter. It was not as impressive for the fourth quarter, but if we look at the full year, sales value solid uptick of about 28%. FY24 versus FY23. Lastly, Puravankara, which reported highest ever sales value in the fourth quarter at about 2,000 crores, which is up a solid 93% on a year-on-year basis. So across the board, all real estate players have reported strong pre-sales growth and collection in fourth quarter as well as for the full year FY24.
Well, thanks much, Ashesha, for giving us that lowdown on what the numbers are being reported by the real estate plays. But that's about the fourth quarter operational update. But what about the prices then? Where are the property prices headed in the next 12 to 18 months? Let's listen into what Sudhir Pai, CEO of Magic Bricks, had to say about the roadmap for prices.
If you look at the last 12 to 18 months, prices have risen considerably, right? Way ahead of GDP if you use that benchmark. So they've grown 22%. In fact, under construction have grown even higher at about 30%. We see that moderating. I don't think you're going to see those kind of price increases over the next 18, 24 months out. It's also healthier if prices were to not increase in large spurts, because when that happens, you end up with a larger base of investors rather than end users. And over the long period of time, it is the end user who carries the market, right? So I think moderate price increases will be healthier for the market. We are seeing prices moderating. Like I mentioned a while back, sequential price hikes are coming down, and we think therefore, the price hikes in the next 18, 24 months will be a lot more modest than what we've seen in the last 12 months.
All right, so that's the word coming in from Magic Bricks when it comes to the pricing trend, and that's like a holistic view coming in on the entire real estate space, what the company honchos had to say, what the pre-sales or collections for the quarter gone by were looking like, and also where the prices are headed. So let's bring on board our guests for today. We have Kunal Bothra as well as Ashish Maheshwari joining us to tell us what should you do when it comes to investing in these real estate players. A very good morning to you, Kunal, as well as Ashish. Thank you so much for joining us on Buy Now Sell Now. And Ashish, let me come first to you and get your view when it comes to the real estate space. You heard Ashesha talk about the companies that they've reported their operational updates. You also had the companies heads also talk about the prospect of the roadmap going ahead. And the prices seems to have moderated when it comes to the real estate sector. But what's your take coming in on investing in this space? Which one is are the companies that you think will stand out going ahead despite the sharp run-up that all of them have witnessed?
Yes, I agree. I think whatever the positive commentary we have heard on your channel is something very realistic, number one. Number two, this is a sector which is akin to what kind of rally we saw in defense or power in railway. Now the next rally which will really come in is into real estate. Again, if we see in organized real estate players, there's not hundreds of companies which are available. You have a space of around 10 to 12 such companies only, where everybody is just putting their money. And this is the reason why the valuation of these companies are improving day by day. Because again, the reason is in 2023, we saw record sales of residential unit. And another trend which has changed, there's no investors, and the cash component which used to be there in the real estate sector has come down considerably. So all actual users are there who are making the beeline to buy the new projects of Godrej or DLS or Macrotech. I think this is something positive, and market is recognizing this trend, and the way people are upgrading themselves from 1 BHK to 2 BHK to 3 BHK, and from tenancy to ownership of flats, etc. So I think the momentum in sector will continue, and 2024 will be another golden year for this sector. And in sector, I like DLF primarily because they are the only recognized or the sizable player in northern Indian market, along with Oberoi Realty as far as Mumbai markets are concerned, and Prestige Estates, the way they are moving their foothold and other than Bangalore to other cities also looks very promising.
All right, that's the fundamental take coming in on the real estate pack from Ashish. But Kunal, coming to you, time and again you have highlighted a lot of counters from this particular sector. At this point in time, where do you see the opportunity still lies in?
Morning. So, first on the market, I'm very bullish on the indices, even though, both of you guys are wearing red and seem like you're bearish on the index, but I'm very bullish on it. So, as a contra feature. On the real estate pack, I would, still be very bullish on the entire pack. So, we've been flagging off stocks, particularly the likes of DLF as well as Anant Raj. These are the two names we've been time and again highlighting over the last 2-3 years. I remember, I think at a point, DLF was almost at 350 or 370 levels towards a point where Anant Raj was, I think, around 120 or 140 odd, mark, and these stocks have done exceptionally well, almost 3x kind of returns for these names. I would still be bullish on the entire real estate pack going forward, and my sense is now traders could start adding towards few of the other names. For example, Godrej Properties is something which has started to perk up quite well. The charts have been looking very attractive. The long-term prospects now seem to be coming on into its fray for Godrej Properties. That's another stock which one could look to add from their pack.
All right, so that's the view coming in from both of our experts when it comes to the real estate pack. You had Ashish Maheshwari talk about the fundamental take, also talking about how people are now upgrading. I wanted to go back to Ashish and actually ask, are you talking about this from personal experience or no, Ashish, given the fact that yes, I think we have seen a lot of them actually move from a tenancy to buying a house or even upgrading from 1 BHK to 2 BHK. You spoke out of personal experience, or you have been reading too much into these company numbers?
No, other than company numbers, you just see in your vicinity itself the kind of redevelopment which has happened. And if you see even, as I talk about the Mumbai market, from Borivali to even BKC for 2 BHK, now rate has come to 2.5 crore. So this is not something which was earlier trend, because people who are staying or working in that particular area want to buy house in that area. Another thing what builder community has done very smartly, prices are constant, but the square foot flat that you to buy, it has considerably come down. So I think these are the factors which are playing important role. And you see, sometimes you go to western suburbs in Mumbai, the kind of new development which is happening in the real estate sector, and if you inquire about new houses, people will say that builder will say that your desired inventory or desired etc. is not available. So this is not something you need to read the balance sheet. Just keep your eyes and ear open.
Actually, in the city of Mumbai, at least where I'm also staying, and you've given an example also of the suburbs, Ashish, you can't find any space that is not under development right now, actually. Is it, Shrishti?
But at least looking at the prices, I'm not looking to upgrade myself.
She's given a caveat and disclaimer there only. So, yes, but that's the take coming in on the real estate space. You have DLF that's made on the list for both of our experts. There's Adhvaryu Realty, prestigious states that Ashish likes, and as always, bullish on the real estate space, irrespective of what color we wear. DLF, Anant Raj, and I think now Godrej Properties also makes it to this list. So that's the holistic view coming in on real estate space. We will slip into a break. When we come back,
if you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.